Okay, good day everyone. So we will be having a continuation about our lesson, which is the percentage rate and base. And for today, we will start with the simple interest. So let's find first what are the terms under the simple interest. Okay, so first term is we have the interest. So when we say interest, that is the amount paid or earned for the use of money. So yun yung kapag nangutang ka, may dagdag or may patong na interest pag ibinalik mo sa inutangan mo. Or kapag ikaw naman ang nagpautang, nilagyan mo ng tubo, then babalik sa'yo or kikita ka ng pera by using that money. So that is the interest. Next is we have the principal amount. So when we say principal amount, that is the amount of money borrowed or invested on the origin date. So andyan na yung term. Pag sinabing principal amount, yun yung amount ng money na hiniram mo, na dineposit mo, na ininvest mo, na niloan mo. Basta lahat ng kabuuang pera, yun yung principal amount. Yung buong pera na inutang mo, that is the principal amount. Next, na-encounter na natin si rate sa PRB. Of course, rate is an annual rate and usually in percent. Dapat po si rate ay naka-percent charged by the lender or rate of increase of the investment. So, sa rate po, di ba sabi natin kanina sa interest, yun yung amount ng money na ipinatong sa'yo. Pag sinabi namang interest rate, yun yung kung ilang percent yung ipinatong sa utang mo or sa loan or investment mo. Okay? And of course, last one is we have the time or loan period. It is the agreed date or time when the loan will be paid in full. So, time or loan period, of course, ito po yung kung ano po or kung ilang taon, ilang buwan, yung agreed nyo po na time or date para matapos po yung loan ninyo. So, sa time po natin, remember natin na naka-express po dapat siya palagi sa year. Okay? Ang time po natin ay naka-express dapat palagi sa year. So, let's start with the simple interest. Ano naman pag sinabing simple interest? So, it is the interest that is computed on the principal and then added to it. So, from the word simple, na given your principal, and then the interest is added to it. That is the simple interest. The principal plus the interest. Okay. So, formula in solving the simple interest. For the solving the interest, we have the principal amount multiplied by the interest rate multiplied by the time. Okay. So, we have here a note. Rate or represented by small letter R is expressed in percent. So, don't forget po, kapag hinahanap natin si rate, dapat ang magiging final answer ninyo ay may percent sign. Since si rate po ay naka-percent dapat or expressed in percent po dapat. And another note is time represented by small letter T can be expressed monthly, quarterly, semi-annually, and annually. Ito naman yung sinasabi natin kanina na dapat always naka-express in the number of years. So, syempre, pag sinabi natin monthly, if the payment, ang payment ay ibabayaran mo monthly, once a month, or 12 times a year. So, since we all know that we have 12 months in a year. Okay? Pag sinabing quarterly naman, every 3 months ang payment mo. So, in a year po, 4 times kang magbabayad. Pag semi-annually, annually muna. Pag annually, annual, of course, every year. Semi-annually is twice a year, every 6 months. So, again, remember, pag nasa given po or sa activity is naka-express a month, dapat gagawin natin siyang year. So, anong gagawin natin? Pag month, let's say ang given ay in 10 months, dapat i-divide po natin siya into 12 since we have 12 months in 1 year. So, 10 over 12 po dapat ang ilalagay natin sa time. Okay? Patatandaan yan kasi gagamitin nyo yun mamaya sa ating exercises. Okay, so we have here derived formulas. So, parang same lang din siya sa PRB, pero naka-oblong naman at nadagdagan lang. Okay, nadagdagan lang, napalitan lang din ay nasa top or nasa numerator, and then denominator is si P or tsaka si T. So, si I po dito, ayan. So, lahat po ng nasa ilalim niya, naka-divide kay I. Tapos, itong magkakatabi naman dito, lahat yan naka-multiply sa isa't isa. So, pag hinahanap po natin si interest, takpan si I, your formula will be P or principal amount times R or rate times T or time. So, tinakpan lang natin si I. So, let's have an example. So, Jaira deposited 5,000 pesos in a bank at 6.5% simple interest for 2 years. How much will she earn after 2 years, assuming that no withdrawals were made? So, nag-deposit siya ng 5,000 pesos sa bangko at meron yung 6.5% na interest sa loob ng 2 taon. Magkano daw yung kikitain niya after ng 2 taon, assuming daw na wala siyang ginawang withdraw or hindi siya nag-withdraw, wala siyang withdrawal. Okay. So, first thing po na gagawin natin is we need to write the given. So, kailangan isulat natin yung given para alam natin kung ano po ang ating hahanapin. Okay? So, we have I, P, R, T. Okay? I, P, R, T. So, we have here 5,000. What is 5,000? So, since andyan na yung word na deposited at sabi natin kanina, si principal amount yun yung mga invest, mga ni-loan, mga dineposit. So, ibig sabihin si 5,000 is the principal amount. Next, 6.5% matic po. 6.5%. Yan po ay i-convert muna natin siya sa decimal point. So, urong ka po or decimal. Urong ka po ng 2 times to the left. So, that is 0.065. Always remember na kapag nasa given sa rate, hindi nyo po agad siya ilalagay sa solution na naka-percent sign. I-convert nyo po muna siya into decimal. Okay, and the given time, we have 2 years. So, the question there is, how much will she earn? Magkano daw yung kikitain niya? So, since nag-deposit siya, after 2 years, magkano yung kikitain niya? Magkano yung ilalago dun sa pera niya? So, we are solving for the interest. So, to solve for the interest, we have I is equal to P times R times T. And then, substitute, we have 5,000 pesos times 0.65 or 0.065 times 2. Okay, so what will be the interest? We have 650 pesos. So, ibig sabihin po, ayan ngayon yung amount na kikitain niya after niya po mag-deposit ng 5,000 sa loob ng 2 taon. So, kapag winidraw niya, kasama na yung kinita niya, total na makukuha niya po ay 5,650 pesos. Kasama na yung kanyang dineposit plus yung kanyang in-earn, which is 650 pesos. Okay? Pero final answer niyo po dyan ay 650 since the question is magkano daw yung kanyang kinita. Okay, next. So, for you to be able to solve for the principal amount, takpan si P. Okay, pagkatakip kay P, ano na lang ang matitira? We have I over RT or interest divided by the rate times the time. Okay, so let's have an example. Money paid 7,400 pesos interest at 14.5% for a 4-year loan. What was the original loan? So, the question there is, what was the original loan? Magkano daw yung ni-loan niya? Ayan. So, sulat natin given. Given natin, we have I, P, R, and T. So, given na dyan, no? 7,400 interest. So, matik, lagay na natin siya sa I. Sunod, 14.5%. So, since may percent sign, matik, that is 0.145. And then, 4-year loan. So, since 4-year loan, that is 4 years. At nawawala si original loan. So, we are solving for the principal amount. Okay. So, to solve for the principal amount, we have the formula I divide by rate times the time. Okay, so I divide by rate times the time. So, what is our I? I is equal to 7,400. So, 7,400 ngayon yung ating numerator. So, next, ang R natin ay 0.145. Okay, multiplied it to T, which is 4. Okay. So, una natin gagawin po dyan, kapag nagmano-mano kayo, uunahin nyo muna yung nasa ilalim. Okay, pagka-multiply nyo yung nasa ilalim, pag nakuha nyo yung answer, tsaka nyo i-divide yung dalawa. Pero kung indirect nyo siyang ika-calculator, you will get 12,758.62. So, round off po tayo to decimal places. So, final answer po, we have 12,758 pesos and 62 centavos. So, 62 centavos na lang kasi that is 0.62069. So, ang katabi ni 2 ay 0. So, round off lang. Remain lang siya kasi 0. So, 0.62. So, ibig sabihin, original loan niya ay 12,758 pesos and 62 centavos. After 4 years po, since ang laki ng kanyang rate, 14.5%, ang naging interest ngayon ay 7,400 pesos. Okay? Next, when you are solving for the rate, takpan si R. Ito, takpan yung nasa gitna. Okay, pagkatakip kay R, ayan, ano na lang natira? Okay, natira si I divide by P times T. Or interest divided by the principal amount multiplied by the time. Okay, example. Nestor invested 30,000 pesos in the stock market which guaranteed an interest of 5,600 after 3 years. At what rate would his investment earn? Ayan na. So, nasa question na po natin. Ayan. So, at what rate? So, sulat si given. So, we have I, P, R, T. Okay. So, ang nawawala ay rate. So, lagyan nyo na agad siya ng question mark. Okay. And then, alamin na natin kung saan po natin ilalagay yung bawat given. So, we have here invested. Nag-invest ng 30,000. Matik, principal amount. Next, interest of, I, 5,600. After 3 years. Ayan. And then after that, ang gagawin natin. So, solve for the rate. And the formula to find the rate, we have I divide by P times T. Substitute. Ano I natin? 5,600 divide by 30,000 pesos times 3 years. Okay, so again, sinabi ko po sa inyo kanina, kailangan unahin nyo po muna yung nasa denominator, tapos tsaka nyo po ngayon i-divide yung dalawa. Pero kung directly nyo po siyang ilalagay sa calculator, you will get 0.06222 and so on and so forth. Ayan, daming 2. Okay. Ayan. So, ang tinatanong po natin dyan ay rate. Ayan. Rate ha. Rate. So, since rate ang hinahanap natin, dapat ang final answer natin is in percent. So, naka-decimal pa yan. Anong kailangan yung gawin? Okay, you have 2 ways. You can move 2 decimal places to the right and then write percent sign, or you can multiply it by 100%. So, final answer, we have 6.22%. Round off po tayo into 2 decimal places. Okay? Okay, next. Last is if you are solving for the time. O, takpan si T naman. So, tinakpan natin si time. Ano natira? We have I divided by P times R or interest divided by the principal amount times the rate. Okay, example, Eileen borrowed 10,000 pesos from a bank, charging 12% simple interest with the promise that she would pay the principal and interest at the end of agreed term. If she paid 4,500 at the end of the specific term, how long did she use the money? So the question there is how long? Okay, gaano daw katagal? So meron na kagad tayong hint. Since gaano katagal ang tinatanong, ang nawawala dyan ay time or the loan period. Okay, so lagay na natin sa given. Borrowed 10,000. O, mga lahat ng binaro, lahat ng dineposit, lahat ng ininvest, lahat ng niloan. That is the principal amount. Next, 12%. Of course, lahat ng may percent kay rate. Convert it into decimal, that is 0.12. And if she paid 4,500 at the end, ayan, so, nangutang kasi siya, di ba, nanghiram siya, so, nagbayad daw siya. So, ibig sabihin, yung ibinayad niya, yun yung added na tinatawag nating interest doon sa kanyang utang. Okay. So, okay na, given natin. Let's solve for the time. So, that is I divide by P times R. Substitute, we have 4,500 divided by 10,000 times 0.12. Okay, 10,000 times 0.12. So, pag dinadiretso natin sa calculator, makakakuha tayo ng 3.75. At hindi po dyan nag-end ang ating answer. Hindi yan yung ibabox ninyo. Kasi we are solving for the time. So, dapat naka-express siya in a years or in a month. Okay? So, tatandaan natin, kapag nakuha natin is ganyan, may whole number and may decimal, yung whole number po will serve as a year. And then, the decimal is you need to multiply it into 12 because in a 1 year, we have 12 months. So, matik, that is 3 years. And, ano sunod na gagawin? Yung decimal, 0.75 times 12. 0.75 times 12 since we have 12 months in a year. That is equal to 9. So, ibig sabihin, 3 years and 9 months. Okay? Clear? Okay. Ayan. So, next is, let's have the future value or also known as the total amount or also known as the maturity value. So, pag sinabi natin future value, it is the sum. So, pag sinabing sum, ito po yung sum or pinag-add po yung principal at saka si interest. Yun po yung tinatawag na future value. So, the sum of the principal and the interest. So, of course, formula in solving the future value, we have the principal amount plus the interest. Okay, so principal amount plus the interest. Now, if given po ay, if I naman po ang nawawala, tapos ang given ay future value, so, ang gagawin lang natin dito sa formula ay, i-derive natin, lipat natin si P doon sa kabila, kaya magka-come up tayo sa formula na A minus P. Kapag sa given po natin, given ay si future value, tsaka si principal amount, tas hinahanap si interest. So, formula will be A minus P. Okay. Next, another formula po, kapag hinahanap natin si future value, tapos hindi P tsaka I yung given, si R tsaka si T. So, ano gagawin natin? Derive the formula. Kunin si formula, we have A is equal to P plus I. And we all know that I is equal to PRT. Diba? Sabi natin kanina sa formula ni I, we have P times R times T. So, ang ginawa ko lang kay I is nilagay ko as P times R times T since equal siya kay I. Tama? Okay. After that, Okay. After that, anong common sa kanilang dalawa? Factor out natin yung common sa kanilang dalawa. So, nakita natin na common pareho si P. So, labas natin si P. Anong matitira sa loob? P divide by P. 1 na lang yon. P divide by P, RT. So, that is RT. Kapag binalik natin siya dito, P times 1, P. P times RT, PRT. Okay? So, ito ngayon yung another formula in solving for the future value kapag ang given ay R tsaka T. Okay? Or kapag hindi ay ang given sa kanya, kundi R tsaka T. And then, out of this formula po, makukuha din natin yung possible formula ni principal amount kapag ang given ay si future value. So, anong gawin? Kunin ulit natin yon. P, 1 plus RT yon. Tapos, ang sabi natin, pwede natin makuha dito yung formula ng principal amount kapag given si future value. So, ano lang gagawin natin? Since may kasama si P dyan, kailangan maalis natin siya. We have to divide both sides. 1 plus RT. 1 plus RT. So, cancel. Your another formula in solving for the principal amount, kapag given si future value ay 1 or A over 1 plus RT. Okay? So, dun sa P natin kanina, sabi natin sa P natin kanina, that is I divide by RT. Kapag given po, ay I. Okay? Pero dito po, sa another formula natin, paano naman kapag given ay future value. So, yan po ang magiging formula ninyo. Okay, so let's have an example. So, Ellen borrowed 35,000 pesos from a bank at 12.5% simple interest for 5 years. How much will she pay the bank after 5 years? Ayan. So, the question there is, magkano daw yung ibabayad niya sa bangko after 5 years? Ibig sabihin, ano ang hinahanap? So, kasama na dyan, yung ibabalik niya is yung hiniram niya plus the interest. Kaya ang hinahanap natin ay si future value. But of course, for us to be able to solve for the future value, we need first to solve for the interest. Okay, so sulat natin si given. So, given natin, we have I, P, R, and T. So, 35,000, that is the amount Ellen borrowed. Of course, that is the principal amount. Next, 12%, 12.5% simple interest. That is the rate. Convert it into decimal, that is 0.125. Next, that is for 5 years. Okay, so you need first to solve for the interest. And of course, formula to solve for the interest, we have P times R times T, or PRT. Substitute, that is 35,000 times 0.125 times 5. Okay, so multiply it. And then the result will be equal to 21,875. And that is the interest. Okay. So, ibig sabihin, nangutang siya ng 35,000 after 5 years, nadagdagan yung utang niya, which is yung naging interest na 21,875. So, proceed na tayo din sa question. How much will she pay the bank after 5 years? So, magkano yung babayaran sa bangko? So, since ang tinatanong ay magkano yung babayaran niya sa bangko, yung utang niya plus the interest. So, we are solving for the future value. And that is the principal plus the interest. So, magkano inutang niya? 35,000 pesos plus the interest, which is 21,875. So, final answer, we have 56,875 pesos. Okay? And that will be the final answer. So, after 5 years po, magbabayad siya ng 56,875. Out doon sa inutang niya na 35,000. Okay. Last example, you need to determine the principal amount that you need to invest at a simple annual interest of 8% to have a total amount of 446,400 at the end of 3 years. So, andyan na ang hinahanap. So, we are solving for the principal amount. Okay, sulat natin yung given. Sa 8%, of course, that is the rate. So, convert it into decimal, that is 0.08. Next, 3 years, of course, that is time. We have 3 years. Ano ngayon si 446,400? Anong sabi dyan? Ang sabi dyan, to have a total amount. Ayan. Magkano daw ang principal amount na i-invest mo? Para after 3 years po, na merong 8% interest, is makakakuha ka ng 446,400. Okay. So, matik po, future value is 446,400. Ayan. So, ang nawawala po sa atin ay si principal amount. What will be our formula? Di ba meron tayong dalawang formula ni P? So, since given si A dito, yung kukunin nating formula is yung na-derive natin kanina. And that is A over 1 plus RT. Tama? Ayan. So, substitute, that is 446,400 divide by 1 plus 0.08 times 3. Okay, so, paano po ang gagawin ninyo dyan? So, again po, pwede ninyong unahin yung nasa ilalim. Okay, ilalim muna, which is yung naka-multiply. And then, after that, yung result, after nyo minultiply si 0.08 tsaka si 3, add nyo sa 1. Yung result nun, sulat nyo, tsaka nyo sila i-divide silang dalawa. So, makukuha mo ngayon dito ay 360,000 pesos. Okay. So, ibig sabihin po, kailangan mag-invest ka ng 360,000 pesos. Para at the end of 3 years, kapag may 8% kang interest, yung pera mo na yon magiging 446,400 pesos. Okay, and that will be the end of our discussion for this week. So if you have any question, clarification, violent reaction, then you can ask me in our synchronous class. So, thank you for watching this video. You can leave your comment down below on what you have learned on this week's